Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. We're here for another Come Make We Talk video. My guest today is not a stranger. As a matter of fact, this is like his fourth time on the series talking about health and how we can heal our bodies. And it's none other than Dr. Kimo. Dr. Kimo, welcome back. We have gotten like a ton of traction on our videos, and lots of persons have like additional questions. A lot of people want to hear more from you. And, you know, using this medium, of course, they can always find you on your platforms, on TikTok, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. But, you know, there's never too much information to go around and to share. And I'm happy to have you as a guest one more time, just to talk about all the good things, them, you know, all the things that people have been wondering about and searching about as they're on their own quest to heal their bodies and, you know, have a healthier life around their loved ones. So I'm very happy to have you one more time.
Well, it's a blessing to be here too, you know.
Yes.
I have to give you thanks and praise for all things, whether the good or the bad.
Indeed, indeed. All right, so we can jump right in and talk about a couple of things. And the first thing on my list is magnesium. So, you know, something that's trending lately is the importance of magnesium in the body. And the fact that, you know, for the most part, especially if you're a meat eater, it's not something that you can find adequately as part of your daily diet, or at least that's the belief. So a lot of persons have taken supplements, you know, to try and help them sleep better at night, to try and help them, you know, go to sleep and not waking up feeling as though they're tired, or they haven't had like that REM sleep, that restful experience. I want to hear from you on the importance of magnesium and, you know, what being deficient in it can cause in the body. And then what are some of the things that people can do to increase that mineral within their body?
Good question. But my answer might differ a little bit from how people see minerals.
Okay.
If your body have 2 trillion cells, maybe less, maybe more, but somewhere in the trillion zone, no one mineral could amount those cells. The mistakes were, I would say, the authoritative biological world put across as advice. Me call it a mistake. And so a man might diagnose with a deficiency of magnesium. And so he might want magnesium because somebody tells him somebody need magnesium to function good.
Right.
But next month now come, he might go deficiency in iodine. So now he go on iodine. She say he might go get the benefit from it. Yes, there's some aspect of some deficiency.
Hey, Kimo.
The most powerful mineral on the planet where is not even spoken about so often is iron phosphate. And iron phosphate is a blood mineral. If we remember good, the Bible says, for the life of the flesh is the blood, and I have given it unto you as an atonement for your soul. When you was in your mother's womb, before you even formed, there was what them call a maternal pool.
Yeah.
It's like an ocean of blood, just pure blood. But that blood was enriched with every minerals that ever make you up. Not just magnesium or iodine or bromide, but selenium, calcium, bromide, vanadium, silica, zinc. You are creating a human being, so you're a full human being now. Yeah. So no one mineral could fix your problem. The next thing outside of that is to look on the facts. When a man's sick, what happened? So you've been diagnosed and you say, Dr. May say, well, I see your blood pressure too high.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get it down because if you don't get it down, you might get a strokes. All right, so you will go and try to fetch something for your blood pressure. But what is been happening right there is that the symptoms is being looked at
Mm-hmm.
rather than the cause. If a man have a pain in his back and him never drop off a bike or a car or a truck or a bus, or somebody never lick him, you have to ask where he get the pain from. But he will tell the same feel the pain, boy, I read it from the waistline to him buttocks. Go down. You might diagnose as sciatic, rheumatoid arthritis, or lumbago, any one of them. But that is the symptom which part it end up, where it come from. Try to understand what I'm getting.
I understand what you're saying. It's always going to be about the root cause. And
Right.
unless we are, we shift our focus from trying to, treat the symptom, trying to
Right.
cover it up, put a band-aid on it, and go to the root cause, we're always going to be in a position where we're just treating topically and we're having issues just come up over time. The downside to that is that, the medical field isn't necessary. Doctors aren't going to, look at the root cause. Like,
No.
even with my own thyroid situation, like the moment a doctor hears, okay, can we try a more holistic approach? They're not interested. They just want to give you this medication and get you out the door.
I don't blame them. I don't blame them because if I was in their shoes, I would do the same thing as I need to earn.
Yes.
So it's a good thing I'm not in their shoes. But
indeed,
your platform, this is what they need to know. And you know why many people try to find me. When someone called me, I said to them, it is best to do a consultation. And said, too forward. I said, well, you've been sick about 2 years. Them said, no, about 12, 13 years, may have this problem. I said, that's the reason. Now, I have to talk to you to find out what happened to you. From
history.
15, if you can remember so far, some of them actually remember. And when me talk to them and I say, Jesus Christ, what me remember about that? So yeah, I say, this apartheid, yes, there's an origin for every sickness. The major one we know so far is the digestive system. I show you something. Anytime you take out a teeth and then cocaine, if you take it out, that teeth join on to the next teeth. That's just as an example. And when you pull that teeth, the other one who was helping to reinforce it or keep it steady is left by itself. That cocaine damages the nerves. In a year, 2 year, 3 year, if you eat so bad, let's say if you eat bad by 6 months, you maybe have to take the next one out. Tooth fairy now with the teeth. When I find out what is going on with my teeth, I went on a research. And I realized that without calcium fluoride, all teeth will decay. All right, so I get Irish marsh, which is the main component of calcium fluoride. I start taking it, the teeth start feel good. But I notice when I eat cooked food, I have issues same way. And I said, what the hell is going on there? And the inner voice said to me, because the root cause was never the teeth. Having calcium fluoride is good because that's the mineral or the metal the teeth need. But what caused the teeth to be behaving bad? It was my digestive system and my nerve. So when we go some book now, and if we do a 3 day just fruits, I like from morning, all I had is one mango. And just a while ago, I drink an empty soup, meaning no in it. Just pure punk okra, just empty. And the teeth relaxes itself. When I check good, I say, all right, the digestive system is not completely clean. And once the digestive system don't completely clean, you will have no peace up here. So let's say you get magnesium, calcium, iron, bromide, iodine, selenium, I name them. And you put them together, and you take them single. Because some people have 5, 6, 7, 8 different pill I take. you're not gonna reach nowhere.
Yeah, step on with a con, Kimo. Yeah, step on with a con because,
You have to step on them. You're
like you
not
said,
gonna reach
it is
nowhere.
a part of so many people's routine to wake up and you have a handful of pills that
All
are
right.
being taken as supplements and vitamins and ways to boost the immune system.
One pill for your heart, one for your brain, one for your hip. No. Osteoporosis, peristalsis, mucus colitis, fibromyalgia. These are sicknesses that give chronic pain and them feed into your calcium level. But did you know that calcium is also a part of your circulatory system, a part of your blood?
No, did not know that.
And when them talk about precursor, so for instance, you have a virus. So them say you have to take vitamin C, boosts your immune system.
Right.
All right, fine. But there was not knowledge to say you cannot. It's like the immune system have a security force.
Yeah.
But the digestive system hold on to the immune system. So now we know I try to boost the people immune system and them I said to me, say, why that when that time I feel like did that work and then me don't know what happened. So me have to get back to the drawing board and say, wait.
What did you eat?
No, me not ask them that. Me I say, why me not get to the immune system that I'm give them immune herb? That's I know the immune booster, so I give
Right.
them it.
Right.
Little bit did I know that at least 88% to 90% of the immune lock up in the digestive system.
Wow.
So I say, all right. So the moment now me create something for the digestive system and clean it out. What is in the digestive system? Three things. You have all waste from as far as from your 5-year-old in your system.
5-year-old.
From your 5 years old, you have waste in your tummy that never
Wow.
and yet you go to the bathroom. And
Wow.
that is why every human being will go to the bathroom have a stink.
Okay,
Why?
what's the second thing? Because I have a question, man. So what's the you say it's made up of 3 things. Waste. What's the second thing?
Old feces is the first one. The second one is parasites. And then the ultimate killer is the coal. We call it mucus. Jamaican people call it coal. Just the same thing when you blow it, I can't spit out.
Right.
And it bind up the old feces so they become rock stone and it dehydrate in there.
Wow.
And it comes with pebbles. So you have constipation. Constipation come with pile. You may cut it 3-4 times and it come back because the pile that hanging out and stay inside is actually constipation. From there, heart problems, liver problems, kidney problems, and for sure, you go mad because you got brain damage. So the question about magnesium, you could maybe put it down to a single entity, but it would make no sense to answer a question when it not correlate with reality.
Right.
These are those patchings, as I say, put a plaster over the soul.
Right. So I appreciate that response because it's definitely one that will, make you pause for thought and start to think about like all the things that's happening and, just history, food history, your life history, and just, how that impacts your body right now. On one of our last conversations, you talked about fasting. You talked about fruit fasting. We talked about maybe perhaps starting off with like a 3-day fast, single fruit, watermelon, cantaloupe. But I want to dive into that a little bit more and talk about like the importance of fasting as it relates to healing the body. I've watched tons of videos of persons who are like water fasting as a way to help to remove parasites or to help with aiding weight loss. But I'm not sure that I have like the full picture. And I'm sure a lot of persons watching this might not have the full picture of the importance of fasting and why it's something that they need to be practicing.
Fasting is is of vital importance, very vital, but something to look at. Kind of fruits, but them have herbs. Why is it you would go and make corkscrew as a laxative plant, or cascara sagrada bark,
Right.
rhubarb? So I questioned these things and I said, we could have just fast then and get better. But then you have some people who are diabetic and them have to eat basically every 15 minutes to keep them energy.
Right.
Because their ghrelin, which is inside of the digestive system, I think it's right beside the pancreatic gland.
Right.
Them call it the hunger hormone. So these people have to eat right when the clock eating. I have a diabetes friend who teach them falling out, but him not herbs.
Right.
And him eat like this. Him not eat a large amount, but him a pick. And him tummy huge too. More have to tell him say, but I'm fasting, but I realize him can't manage. So I said, the people who want to fast, there's knowledge. Knowledge is important. Them say the Bible says a man with knowledge is mighty, full, powerful, and prevailing.
Hold on a second, Kimo. I don't know if you can hear my baby. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that.
That's a good man.
All right, you were saying something about the Bible before we
the Bible says a man with knowledge is mighty, full, powerful, and prevailing. There's a law for everything, and there's stages for everything, season for everything. If you want to fast and want to get it effective, laxative plant has been created. And those laxative plant is to move what the fasting won't do, because you will have to go fast for at least 90 days, which most people cannot tolerate and go through. So what people do is take the laxative plants and clean the digestive system thoroughly. Yes, clean, because you don't want to, while you're fasting, what you're trying to achieve, feeding on your flesh or your cells.
Right.
So you get laxative plant, kill them parasites out, take out the old hard feces, make it come out.
Right.
That means that some people start to fast and they might try to achieve cleansing or spirituality, but they're not sure what they might try to achieve. They might fast because somebody say fast. It is good, but I would advise, from what I understand fully about it, clean up first. I can get up and eat one mango for the day, and that's good. Because after you clean, I'm going to come to something very vital, but let me explain this. After you clean out a portion of months, or even let's say I take years to clean up, but you keep it in your mind to say, this is my lifestyle. I'm going to be cleaning. You want to clean to the stage. That's when you drink water, when you go to the bathroom. Not urinate, you defecate water. And you know, so the channel much smooth and clean. Ooh. Right, the energy can rise. But 3/4 of the world won't and will never ever reach that state so easy. Because everybody is busy working. Wow. So we have to work with them according. But when you do get the time, do it. Even like a 2-week off. Don't go on a vacation. Take care of this gut. Then you can approach a fasting. 3 days of fruits is good. Or 3 days of just water is good. If you can't manage the water, like you're addicted and have bad habits, do 3 days of fast. If you pass 3 days of fruit fast, while you're fueling yourself with electrolytes like coconut water, or just water, or melon juice, and other fruits. If you pass that test, and you know, pop down or lay them up or whatever, then you try 7 days. If you pass 7 days, yeah, that's some people mash up after.
Listen, man, the addiction to sugar is real.
Right.
And
chocolate.
Yeah, chocolates. Yeah. Boy, yes. Yeah, come for drip up people today, Kimo. Yeah. Yes, it's very real. So like the concept of fasting for a week or 3 days, like
rough to people.
well rough. Well rough.
Right? But
But
it is something to enhance discipline.
yes,
Yes.
indeed.
If you there's nothing in the world you can achieve without a disciplined mind. I put my brain on auto automatically and I say, one mongo can do it, and the brain will say, well,
Yes.
try it. But remember now, Kimo, every time the belly grumble, I feel funny, run gang and eat some cooked food. And I say, I want to tell you how this thing come to me is my son. He was hungry and he went to play football. And in my defense, and he noticed when somebody come for score and run out, he feel like he might go faint. So he paused a little bit and come back. And through my stand up most of the time, every time somebody come, he run out and feel dizzy. But it's
Ooh,
like he must say something at him, say, no man, override the feeling. So he override the feeling. And when he override the hungry feeling, the body jump into energy zone. And he could continue. I mean, I say, if you put your brain on heart, I'm going to put mine on heart.
that is a
So,
solid lesson, you know.
right. So I go on heart with fruits. And I say, one mango in the morning. Let me see what I got. Then the hunger kick in, you know. It, feel it like your brain. I say, no, man, we need something. That tick you. I mean, I say, me nah again, nothing. Not everybody. And for that day, for at least 3 days, I have energy for 3 days. I couldn't even go sleep. I couldn't even sleep. But there is something behind that, especially if it's a man. You see, 3/4 of the knowledge that we get is wrong about health.
Mm. Talk about that a little bit more. What do you mean?
All right. One of the reasons the Bible says, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal, meaning never dying.
Right?
That meaning then, me and you, we were not born to die. We should be living, just living thousands, millions of years, no death. But something happened along the way, and some force intermingled. And then the information era that was keeping human to live 1,700 years ago. If you go back in the Bible, say, like you would say, Adam lived to be 700 years or 800 years and have children.
True.
But now we are
Yes.
about 70 years and 120 years, and now people life gonna 65, 70 man, so them how old when they be 70.
True.
So as a healer, the most I say, go beyond your basic knowledge, Kimo. Look beyond, look deep, study hard. And I said, for what? I think everything is a study, man. Secular knowledge. So I went now to metaphysics and esoteric and high and below, a whole different world. And so I went what I would call ex-narca, actually meaning ex is life, narca mean pilgrim, and a search, and I said, wait, so are you saying there's a world that exists with a different source of power?
Mm.
Yes. As another example, my hair right here was falling out.
Right.
For decades, it try to get bald, and my father had his bald, all my bald was right here, so
Yes.
I fight it, so I don't want to make me peel out. But everything me I do, me now figure out how to fix it. Even
Right.
my tumba bark is a good bark if you use it. Wash your hair constant, it will give it growth, but it take long, but it will give it growth. That seems like it take too long. So we are dig and we are search. And that's why I say there's goodness in bad and there's badness in good.
Mm.
I know a person say, explain that. I am hurt from losing my girlfriend, very hurt. I couldn't take no more hurt from no more female. So I decided to stop have sex. As a precaution measure to myself to not get hurt.
Protective,
Because,
right?
right, I don't want to play on dolly house with my life. I pass through that. And the spirit put me in a dry fast. Dry fast is no liquid, no food.
Mm.
And you read the Bible and you pray and you just meditate. And that one day, jump me to somewhere else. And when I end up over there, Spirit said, don't sex for 9 days. And I said, well, since 9 days, why not take 4 months? So I went on the 4 months. When I went on the 4 months, it says drink coconut water or fruit water, just fruits. And the ear start to grow back. So I went to the hairdresser and she said, a year ago now. I said, yes, Miss realize it, I get thick.
Yes.
The energy start get plus, like it had a layer. Just a work. I said, well, I couldn't really want to go on.
Wow.
So me call up some people and I say, tell me about cultivating continents.
Right.
And him say, yeah man, that's why? Because each time you copulate, you lick your dopamine center. This is why all them prostate problems come around. This is why you wrinkle, you grow up fast, young, you old fast and dead quick. Your life source, your life source is depleted. And then the physical form of you start to age because it is the life force keeping you. What does the life force do? Create other lives outside of you. You look and you see a beautiful son and beautiful daughter, and them sweet and nice, like your daughter, your son, what you have, nice, everybody want to hold him and hold her.
Mm-hmm.
Pure state. That's a seed and an egg come to create that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we are not creating, we utilize it foolishly. It call it depleting your life force.
I've heard about that. I've heard about persons who have abstained, and it's what has caused them to achieve like some of the greatest things in their lives because just tapping into that energy have helped them to surpass what they have previously thought were their limits. But I didn't like hearing about it from your perspective changes a lot. But I want to tie it back to what you had said earlier about men versus women and how, the divine download that men get is different.
Woman is a physical creature, and man is a spiritual creature. And the reason why I say that, you won't find woman going to seclusion so easy.
Right.
You won't find them left and go to the mountains and up there by themselves. No. Oh, listen.
You hear me?
So you find, you're there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So you find, what were they searching for gone as a hermit gone to hide in the hills among birds and something, there's something that they're searching for, a higher spirituality.
Right.
Now, if you are a seeker, if you are as a herbalist, it may be something that people know, but I try to live that life, but I would like to understand outside what is spiritual entity. We know for a fact that spirituality means breath, which is basically the heart of breathing, right? And what is this breath? People say spirit, not dopey. In Jamaica, people call it spirit, dopey. But
Yeah.
spirit is not non-ghost.
No,
Spirit
but the
is your
most
breath
high.
and soul.
Right.
Right. But if you look good at the story in the Bible of Ezekiel, can these dry bones walk? Ezekiel said, only alone know God, because I will make all things. But these are just bones. No ligament, tissue, fibroids, no skin, no. So him say, nature and nature come and put on back skin and flesh and them farm up back. But
Right.
it just lay down, they can't move. And God says, summon the wind, which is the air, and it come, the air come and go in, and man become a living being. That's why the Bible says your temple, your body is a temple of God. So your spirit is the Almighty. What enhances that spirit is your vital force. Once the two of them align, so in other words, you have to have a pineal gland for your soul to enter. And when that happens, you align like a trinity. It boosts your power. So whatever going on in society don't affect you. But while I say most things we will learn 3/4 wrong, how a woman was supposed to be the supportive factor through the ascension. So what happened? They put the head force to the woman, and they put the power of the man below it. So it is hard for now a man to rise because he has no balance. So man fight against woman, woman fight against man. So most men know, not now, no, a long time Mr. Guan is dressed back.
You know, I've been talking about this with my friends now for weeks, like weeks, and it wasn't even on the agenda to talk to you about it. Like, just like, what's the role of a husband? What's the role of a wife? What's the role of a man? What's the role of a woman? And what the Bible says about it. Because we can have conversations amongst ourselves about, okay, what I believe I should be doing, but it's written down somewhere. The guideline is there somewhere. And, it is my understanding that as the head of the household, God is giving a divine download to a man that is different and separate from what he's communicating to that woman. And if you don't understand how it is that you ought to submit to your husband, just as how he's submitting to God, then you're out of alignment altogether. So to hear you say that, in response to that, most men become passive because they haven't figured out like how to realign themselves and to, the constant man against woman fighting. We haven't figured that part out. It is actually affecting like the order of how things are supposed to take place.
You can't figure it out, and most people can't because they say once you lose, I like to quote from the Bible because I find solace in it. If your body is a temple of God, that means says God in you. So if you sin, you go dead. Because the wages of sin is death, And the gift of God is eternal life. It's more this a man can rise to the summit of themselves, to the heights of angels. So you have the ability to rise to your high self, of God's self. But according to society dictates, you won't reach that pinnacle no time soon. It's going to take you maybe millions of years if you keep on a rewind and come it. The first thing we understand when we enter into the urban world, feel the most I work through you because him said in Jeremiah, I knew you before you enter your mother's womb. And before you came out of your mother's womb, I anoint you and sanctify you a prophet unto the nations. So the Almighty bless you even before you come out of your mother's womb.
Right.
Now,
hence we have a purpose.
Right. So if you have a communication with God and man, your life will be struggling because he want to mold you again spiritually because you're a physical being too long. And if you're a physical being, you're going to have 15 women. And you're going to eat the wrong food. You're going to party, you're promiscuous, you're cheating, you're stealing, you're trickery, your evilness in your body. So him can't work with that. So him have to refine you and mold you. So like me go through so much trouble. Nearly dead more than 10 times. And him hold me. I said, no, your art is good. God Bible say, you read the art of men. Kimo left from, I want to leave my touring job, got nice. And I travel right across the globe and I meet people. If a nice, beautiful man, I want them.
Yeah.
And then 2020 come and I say, listen, you're not doing no more tour now. But heal the people them now. Because I'm sick. The medical world alone can't manage some sick people. Some herbalists have gone chippy. And so I get a timeout for looking, then back, I lose my girlfriend. I was deficiency as it talk about magnesium and other minerals. I was this deficiency in calcium fluoride and iron phosphate.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't breathe good because the
Mm-hmm.
lungs pipe keep on narrowing, So every time it narrowing, I have to sleep with my mouth open.
Oh, wow.
But then my belly was like about 40 inches, big
What?
belly. And, I said, and then we have chronic sinusitis, so the birds, them call it halitosis, the birds start get stink. And we go to the doctor and do everything like normal people. And them say, we need acidophilus.
Mm.
And we need vitamin C. But then we start have sciatic nerves issue. And then after sciatic nerves issue, we start have weird complications, different voices in my head, like an insanity state sometimes.
Oh, wow.
Voice I tell us, chuck off, jump out of the car. So we end up going meditation class. This is when the word spirituality, should be. A lady must be road in a Kingston. And the guy will go initiate me said, I have some scars. He said, what, someone? He said, some scars. So I said, what are some scars? He said, I have old wound and old baggage from farmer
Mm.
life coming over into this life. And so, okay. So one beautiful thing them teach me is how to silence the mind, quiet it, and make it guide all over the place, and they give you anxiety. So I will be here and I try to fix something, but me I try to do it so fast and now I get it perfect. I'm gonna fight with that, fight with that. And so when we go to the doctor, them say me deficiency in our whole or something. But you will take your drugs and you come back, but you go back to your same world of eating, and then your girl, friends, and maintenance of children. So there's like a load on your back and it's heavy. How do you get energy, think right, accurate to deal with so much complexities in life? How you manage that? So people paranoid, bipolar, schizophrenic, as 45 prostate, burn up, still I try to work for maintaining body, children and family. Woman now fibroid, cysts, PCOS, name the house. And you still try to work money for Dr. Bill and you don't have enough energy. So by the time you get 45, 50, 55, 60, if you
Burn
have a
out.
business,
Burn
you
out.
burn out and you turn it over to your children. But when you turn it over to your children, you might not like all them at tweet, but your brain is not so effective to take it back over. So the stress from that kill you. If a man going to erectile dysfunction at 45 and him have a nice wife and him can copulate conjugal rights with the woman, it stress him and kill him too. We look into the havoc of society and try to figure out. So how you fix them problem, man? So you have counselors, you go to the counselor and the counselor go to a university to teach you how to fix your life while for them life in a room. It's like you go to the medical world and you say, a nurse, but her belly big out and she weigh 300 pounds. And you try to say, you go to a doctor, when you look, you see my smoke cigarette.
Smoke. Yes.
And you say, hold on. Something
We deal with things in like silos. Like, okay, your health is separate from your mental state, which is separate from your ability to raise a kid, which is separate from your ability to go to work, which is separate from your ability to sleep.
Right.
As opposed to looking at everything as being interconnected. And
everything is interconnected. So if you fix one, you fix all. They are not. So look at the car. It has 4 tires. None of them tires not in the car. It's under the car. It have a battery. and we should say they're different, is one card. It all make the whole. So when the confusion come down as a man, I am saying to Father, why you put me too much struggle? I may have to fight out it. I mean, know what to do. Him show me what to do. And one of the first thing I come to my understanding first, try to figure out. Him take on my girlfriend then. Whose wife took on my girlfriend then from. I said, stop having sex for a while. 1 year. When I did that, I started eating right. I make the 9OC, man. The crate right there. I make the regenerator capsule, immune system, paniculatate immune system, lymphatic system, soul tonic, gazuma, blood circulatory, everything that's a crate. Because we are focused now. Energy at bill. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock at night, we're in the lab, everything are going. And I said, what the hell so much energy? All them baby mothers was giving trouble, top each other. Them level up themselves. Like, it's like me talk to them spiritually and I say, you have yourself, but God may stress me out. And more money make because the mental faculty is stable. The big belly cut off. The mind fully by disturbance, fade. You can feel when 10% are going, 20 going.
Yeah, aligned.
Right. So you come together now. So it's So an optimum human being or a powerful human being will never, ever know themselves until they learn to regulate them sexuality. The two most powerful sources on the planet is food and sexuality. Those are what you are trapped in. And if you can't, the Bible says, do not let your belly become your God.
True.
And it also said, don't go out and spill thy seed unworthily. Because you will eat from the tree of life. That's why all of our promiscuous men, them go out and them have sex. By the time them done, you see them go so.
Can't function.
No, because it licked the dopamine center. And the reason why it licked the dopamine center is not because them are 15, they are 45 and 55. Right. And all of what they depleted over the years has not been rebuilt. 100 drop of blood create 1 drop of semen. Imagine that.
Wow.
100 drop of blood create 1 drop of semen. Yes, what's going on in the world? So when men call me say, and him say, you're weak, and I say, oh, it is. And him say, 45, I say, be careful. I say, all right, make a consultation. I need to talk to you very good. If I want to feel
so,
you know, when we give them the product, them feel nice, you know.
And that is it too. That is it too, because you see the challenge is there are so many people out there who are not open to information until they're sick.
Right.
But they're open to just enough information that will help them to get back to what they were doing.
Right.
The intention is not to do a 180, get aligned. No, just I want to make it to the next party. I want to make it to my next boo. Okay. And, you know, I get that that's not what you're about. That's not what you're sharing. You want people to operate, you know, as their true self. Optimal. To be aligned. And trust me, like as someone who has experienced what it feels like to be aligned, like that focus that you're talking about, when you get knocked out of that, you know, it's like you're like, how can I get back there? Because so smooth, like things just fall into place, like even things that are seemingly out of your control, that you're like, oh wow, that's happening in my favor. All of those things happen because you're aligned. So what you're talking about,
check how your interview going. You're supposed to be somebody just asking normal questions in an interview. But I could sit here with you and speak about minerals all day. and just normal interview. But as I say in the beginning, most things that we learn is wacko. And you would have to live the life and have the experience so understand how this really runs. Not like how we see at all. And for men, you know, man dead fast before woman. To have positive mind children, there's a thing them call embryogenesis. And embryo is like the baby fetus. Genesis is the beginning, right there in the womb of creation, when mama and papa are farming up.
Right.
Everything when mama do, all her behavior, if she curse, she quarrel, any negative, is a form of creation to the unborn child. When that child comes, so you say you're born in sin and shaped in iniquity. Was the womb clean? Was it there any parasite there, any constipation, any yeast infection? Yes, it's always there. Was daddy a good man? No, he was drinking a lot of alcohol and smoking cigarettes. And he was promiscuous. Then all you want to have a child of a positive life, unless the Almighty touch that child.
That
but
right
outside of
there.
that, you are what you are, and you will get what you are.
That right there.
You know, so when we look at it, we are saying, then why are we learning different things outside of what we're supposed to be learning? Is for a reason. Because if you know the facts are the truth, you would have aligned yourself very fast. And then we won't have any need for this vast deception.
A secular operation.
Yes, yeah. 1,000-volt, you know.
Yeah.
You know, your belly big out or so, you know if you fix it and you pop pills or pop pills this or pop this up. And then you mash up at 45 and I say, how this possible? I mean, I deal with most of my clients in my home. 3/4.
So I have a question, right? Because we're coming up on time and I have two things that I really want to talk to you about. For a lot of women, as you're going to touch on your, main client base, hormonal issues are a factor. So we'll talk about the PCOS, the, endometriosis, the, fibroids, all of those things. And some of that is because of birth control usage. So for a lot of women, they're on birth control since they were 12, 10. And it's something that they have continued for years. IUDs that are, destroying their reproductive organs and, that whole aspect of their body. But not much has been talked about in terms of how to, look at regulating your sexual reproductive health from a herbal perspective. So what I mean when I say that, when you look at once you start cleaning up yourself and cleaning up your gut and cleaning up your body, like you're going to thrive in a different way. You're going to become super fertile. And not everybody is hoping to have a child. So, you're not cleaning up just to have a kid, or maybe, you want to pause that for a little bit. Like, what are some ways, or, I've heard about like neem leaf or like black seed oil. I don't know the, depth to which those impact your sexual and reproductive health, but I want to hear from you. How can women, start to look at more natural ways to protect themselves from having unwanted kids?
Well, I wouldn't say unwanted kids, because, the Almighty is who give children.
True.
As him say, I would make thy seed be plentiful as sand on the seashore. So him demands a pity for barn. Well, Nakash said, no, me no want no more pity for barn. But
yes,
him can't oppose the Almighty. So that's why we have so much billion there. But what I would say to our queens, this endocrine system disruption is more serious than we think. I want to say serious. It is the God, I call it the God system, the endocrine God. The pineal gland sits in there. Then the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland is in there also. They call it the messenger system. That's why them say hormone imbalance. So let's look at for the female, pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. If you look good, the uterus is connected to it. The fallopian tube is connected to your brain.
Right.
And when you lick one of them, like the thyroid, if you're not careful, you will lick all of them: pancreatic, womb, adrenal gland, pituitary gland, hypothalamus, thyroid gland, all of them line up in a one gland. Chicken supposed to come out of your diet and meat all together. Throw them overboard. Dairy, throw it overboard. Abolish them, don't do them. Because they are the one who's causing this havoc. Now, if you've been taking contraceptive, you get con. Then you get trapped. So now you will be sieving. Now, if you look good, what is con? You fool somebody. Now, when you take something, you kill your eggs, that's supposed to be a vital force, and you kill also the semen that enter. But little bit did you know, when you kill them, and all these dead things in your body, where does it go?
In the blood?
Right, and it stays in there. But when it enters the circulatory system, it flush out a mineral called potassium chloride. That's supposed to keep the blood moving, and any lumps that come to throw it back out. But you're killing so fast at a rapid rate. Some people do something like them have something in them or just kill. You know, them inject and them thing they just kill. Whenever time not coming, dead. So that is why people living in more of a dead world more than a living world. So that start to form, you know, fibroid, cyst is like a packet of pus in your womb, polycystic ovarian syndrome, all these different names, but it's be a dead flesh in there. Some good herbs out there. A nice herbs we tell people to take is anamo, we call Guinea. Dark blood is another powerful plant, anti-inflammatory plant. Yes.
Right.
These plants, Isap, is another plant that flush the body. Them take time though. But with proper eating method, you will get the result.
So do those herbs act as a form of preventative measure for pregnancy?
No, because they say the body was not created for you to prevent it. So there's no. You have plants that will. I think one of them was ubus, June plum bark or leaf, where you would take it and what it would do when the cell, the sperms enter, it would actually lock it and kill it. But it is not like it that effective. To always kill it.
Understand.
You know? But it will slow it down and it won't so effective. You have other plants. I think I heard even rice bitters is one of them. Neem is one of them. But it's not that we give people rice bitters and we check say, and they get pregnant. Yeah. And she said, oh, may I take something and get pregnant? But as a preventative, you know, we know it have some aspect, but depends on the power of the individual also.
Yes.
I remember a man phallus, what we call penis, is a gun. And if it's powerful, let him shoot, boom, it will liquid in the blockage. You know, so those plants will clean out the fibroid, but we don't know much of the plants and we prevent.
Yeah, and that's a part of it too. Like I can't tell how many times I've seen persons who are like, you know, the moment I started eating clean, I got pregnant, and I've been trying for so many years. But the reverse is also true, where okay, I might not necessarily be, you know, wanting a child right now, and I don't want to be stuck on like hormones because that's adding insult to injury. So I'm cleaning up the diet in one end and then adding back hormones, counterproductive. You know, you shared a lot about just your own personal experience and your walk with spirituality and how, you know, once you were in alignment, things started to happen. And that's definitely a space where a lot of people want to get to, in terms of being able to activate that truest self, the highest version of themselves, and then show up that way. But a huge aspect that's preventing that is stress. So you touched on that earlier in terms of like how stress is showing up, and even just the trauma, the wounds that persons carry. So I'll give you an example. My thyroid, I cut out dairy altogether, cutting out meat altogether. But on my last blood test, my thyroids were great, performing normally, but my cortisol hormone was sky high. I don't have anything to be stressed about. My life now compared to 10 years ago, fantastic. But 10 years ago, that wasn't the case. Like 10 years ago, I was stressed out, and the body has held on to that, and it's showing up right now in my blood work. So I know that because I'm doing the work, I'm getting the information, and I'm also like processing my own old wounds. But for persons who aren't like as aware, I want to just spend a few minutes talking about stress and how that impacts the body, and what you would recommend in terms of persons who are dealing with stress or in high stressful situations. Like, what are some of the things that they should be looking at within themselves?
Well, in reality, stress is a part of life. It's what
Yes.
makes people grow.
Yes.
Stress is, to me, is not, I wouldn't deal with it from a biological point of view. That's everything is dealt from that point. Stress is a factor that is something to push you. If you want to get real push, you might need a stressful woman. And
No, laugh. That's not funny. Not funny.
I show you, because if she say you're worthless, you have to, before you try to fight her, you have to listen and say, I wonder, am I getting more all that I need to get out of myself? Where am I going wrong?
Right. Yeah, try to prove her wrong, right? Make your pause to reflect.
Yes. So before you try to chop her up or shoot her or cuss her or beat her, think about what she said. You're worthless because you know no care. You know no house and you know no money. And you're man. You have to think about it. If you're stressful, if you're stressful and you know them things there, you know push yourself. One. But if you have all these things and you're stressful, then one side of your brain a function. So we tell people, say, all right, we ask them, what you do for your living? And them say, boy, good in a man, he's a contractor. And some say, I girlfriend has stress you. I say, yeah, at some time, it's because one side of your brain a function, which I use, right and all that. So right. All right. Learn music. So you use the two both side of your brain. Yes. Balance the equation. We say you can sing. You know, say you can't sing, you're born, you have a voice box. Learn how to sing. Next thing, if you're an English speaking person, learn Swahili, learn Yoruba, learn Amharic. Why you need to do that? Because the more information you feed your body with, but good is the more the stress cells then decrease. Why them decrease? One cell of your brain dormant, the cells them active. You learn natural education from going to school and say, boy, you learn to be an architect. And you're good, so you make money, so you're nice. So one side of you closed down. But you have something like 350 lymph vessels in your head, plus the dopamine center, endocannabinoid center, endocrine center, integumentary center, and all these center. Oh, what if you do? Them lazy, them sit down now, do nothing. So language, when you learn Amharic, like I could say, Kumaya over your foot so and you don't know what I say because I Hebrew me talk, but I Quattro me say too. You understand me? So we learn, say, activate the neurons, them, the nervous system, more than crash it. Sex crash it. When you sex too often, it crash it. So build it back with something where you never know or do before. Go out in the nature, ball out, talk to the tree, talk to the sun, get sunburned, learn a language, learn to sing, learn to play music, play football if you never know, learn to play piano. That's both sides of you. Work. And you will see that stress level start decrease. But if you go try pop 2 pill, you have a double stress because it's like an artistic child or a bipolar child. When them born and them say, them label it because everything is business, so they have to have a label.
Right.
And them say, this child is artistic. But if you notice, if you give the child that child equation, you are wonder why a female make him do this so brilliant. And when him do the people them don't understand what him do, and him explain it to them and they can understand. It is not that the child is really sick, the child is sick. It's that the child mind is both sides and the child mind is active. And them working from a superhuman computer perspective. But they label the child and dumb down the child with pills. So at a later date, you put it on food. Leave it alone because eventually it will evolve into a super being before it starts poisoning. It's the same thing with us. We are overbearing so much load, but the body can't take load, the body can't manage it. We are a super machine, we can manage it, we can take it on. Just learn something new. So
you have to keep balance.
I went to Israel and I learned Hebrew. Not so brilliant in it, but
yeah.
And I played my guitar and I sing and I realized this side start function.
Interesting.
Because too much pressure was on
one side. True.
Yeah. True. And so when people get strokes, you ask them, say, which hand you use? And them say, then right hand. I've noticed one side of your hand always like it.
Yep. Or it's not as strong as the other. Like
right, because you pressure it too much. And the next side, so you're supposed to be like this, but you're like this. Hand balance. So
I can't relate to that right away. Wow. Okay.
His Majesty said one thing before you go. His Majesty said a man must take on more than he can manage for him to see his true potential. Yes.
True words. I could talk to you for hours, Kimo, because there's always something new to talk about, and you always have an interesting perspective. But I can say that for right now, if I've learned nothing else, I learned that there is more need for balance in my life, and because everything is aligned. Once you start to intentionally look for ways to balance yourself out, it will show up in every other aspect of your life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks again for hopping on and talk. And of course, people are going to take from this what they need. And if they need to reach out to you to have their own consultation so that they can start their own plans, I'll leave your information in the description. I'll tag you, of course, where they can find you on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the places. And then hopefully they will get their own enlightenment and start on their own path to, that highest self, that aligned self. Thank you so much, Kimo.
A blessing, princess. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. Bye-bye.
Yes.